All right, shalom, shalom. So we're back, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. So we're going to pick back up on Isaiah chapter 1, going to the Hebrew. So Lord willing, you're edified, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Right, so we're going to left off. We're going to continue where we left off in chapter 1, verse 8, right? So we went into the prologue for this chapter, right? Like I said, this is just, let's look at the headers, because there's a few sections, which the first header says, rebellion of God's people. Second header says, let us reason. By uncorrupted to be redeemed, right? And we're in the first section, continuing in verse 9. Let's look at that word, la, which is Strong's H3884. Says except, unless, had not, it not. Let's look at some of the precepts. So basically it's have not, right? Which is which would read Isaiah 1-9. Had not the Lord of hosts. Let me use the marker. Had left the remainder unto us, right? Because that root word, the root is yathar, meaning a remainder in excess, right? Unto us that had survived, which is Strong's H8300, Sharyad. Literally means a survivor, right? Which that's not the actual word for remnant. The actual word, it would be Sha'aryath. So Ka Mayat. Mayat means something small, right? Not insignificant. The word for insignificant would be Taza'ar or Taza'ayar. This is means little, few, right? Which that would actually mean few, because little, the word is Quatan. That's the word for little, Gadol meaning great or big, right? So it says, like unto a uh, a few, like unto Sodom, we would have been like to Gomorrah, we would have been likened unto it, right? Because the word Dama means similitude, right? So we read La Laya Yahweh Tazabawath Hathayar Lanawa Sharyad Kamayat Kasadam Haya Yanawa La Imara Dam Yanawa. What is that talking about? It's talking about the remnant, right? Being remaining, right? Lest we should have been corrupted like the rest of the Jakes, the rest of the Israelites that essentially rebelled against Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? They received the oracles and scribed on tablets by the finger of God, which it was actually the the chariot's laser engraving technology, right? Which was an actual Most High didn't come down and okay, I'm gonna put my finger on the tablets, right, and make the right. That's not what it's talking about, right? There was actual ships. There was an actual ship that shot forth its engraving lasers. Moses lifted it up and held it while the lasers did its work, right, from the chariot, right, and right. So Jake rebelled, right, and the Lord always left a remnant, right, throughout different dispensations of time, right. You have the right in the book of Genesis, right. You got Noah; he was faithful among men. Right, you had the prophets of old, those that spoke unto Adam in the cool of the day. That wasn't the Lord Himself. That was the Lord always has messengers, right? Which that was actually the prophets during that time, right? Noah was a prophet, right? Um, Abraham, right, and so on and so forth. The Lord always kept a remnant, right, which is essentially when it all when you it all boils down to the spirit of righteous men, right? So you're always gonna have the righteous and the wicked, right? The whole nation of Israel as a whole is righteous, but they have been corrupted, right, by the trees of the garden, right? The trees of the garden now are the nations, right? Esau, Edom, right? The uh, the Arabs, the Ishmaelites, and so on and so forth, right? 2/3, right? They're not in their right mind, right? So the small remnant, right? The Lord always kept men unto Himself, right? And that's the whole point. It's really simple as that. Right? You have the righteous and you have the wicked, right? It's not super deep. It's not you don't have to make an equation to figure that out, right? So lest the remnant should be corrupted, right? They wouldn't have made it, right? So that's what essentially the Lord always kept, like it says in the book of Second Edges, the grape of the cluster, right? Um, which, like I said, I said in the previous video, Yahweh Shai, he spoke about what? Bringing the children unto me, right? You must be renewed as children, meaning what? That's talking about the sincere, that would receive the understanding and continue. If they were ordained to continue, they would continue in the labors that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai gave through his men, right? So the Lord always had his remnant throughout these various times, right? Which is that reminds me of a precept. Um, I believe that's Wisdom of Solomon, where it says speaks about Enoch. The Lord took away Enoch because he was among wicked men. And he said, lest he be corrupted as well. Let's see if we can get that real quick. I'll have to look it up on my phone. So what is it? Wisdom of Solomon 3:1 says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hand of God. There shall no torment touch them. Right? Now we can be simple and say that okay, that means, right, I can pull out a damn 12 gauge and point it at the elect, and they're not going to be blown away. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about right, yeah, the Lord actually preserved particular men, and he's going to preserve particular men, but we can wake up and walk down the street and all of a sudden get ran over, right? So what is this talking about? That's talking about, right, torment, as in for example, the book of Revelation says that they overcame hell and death by the testimony that they had, meaning they overcame the torments, right? And some of the elect will have to essentially be translated, right? As in they're going to be put to death, right? You read about that in the book of St. Luke. Yahushai spoke to the apostles. He said there will be men that will kill you and they will think that they'll do God's work, service, right? Which happened back then. All the apostles were put to death, basically, except John the Revelator. And but that's what the scriptures say: overcoming death, hell being the state of mind, death meaning not living your life to the death, right? So this is what the remnant will put their trust in, right? Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? Whether they are preserved or not, right? So let's get that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4. And verse 7, but though the righteous be prevented with death, yet shall he be in rest. For honorable age is not that which standeth in the length of time, nor that is measured by number of years. But wisdom is gray hair unto men, and an unspotted life is old age. He pleased God and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners he was translated, which is talking about Enoch. Yet speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding, or deceit beguile his soul. Verse 14, for his soul pleased the Lord, therefore hasted he to take him away from among the wicked. Verse 15, this the people saw and understood it not, neither laid they up in their minds. His gracious mercy is with his saints, and he had respect unto his chosen. Thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the ungodly which are living, and youth that is soon perfected, the many years and old age of the unrighteous. And that's basically talking about regeneration, right? So that's what the scriptures say, right? They say what they say, and you goddamn devils got to pay, right? You have blood on your hands, right? Yeah, you built up your kingdom, but right, you did unspeakable things to Jake, right? So the Lord's gonna hand that ass whooping via the thermonuclear fire, right? You nations as well, right? Not just Esau, Edom, so-called white man, the Arabs, the the Moabites, uh, right? Which are the Chinese, you the Ammonites, the Japanese, right? For what? For conspiring to cut off God's chosen people, right? Which are your so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, right? Which are Israelites, and you filthy Hamites as well, right? You you other nations, right? Because I was just reading, and I might do a lesson on that, Lord willing, about the transatlantic slave trade, right? And how there were particular African rulers, right, which are Hamites, right? Not the same as the Negroes, two distinct races, customs, and peoples, right? They would they would take Jake and slaughter them by the thousands and offer them up as human sacrifices to their gods, right? So none of you heathens are not exempt as well, right? Yeah, do we get it? Do we get along with you in society? Well, we have to, and but the truth of the matter is that you're wicked, right? And the Lord, this is why we're waiting on the Lord, right? To he um rise up into the prey, which is going to be via, right, the prophecies coming to pass, right, and so on and so forth, right. So basically, Esau and the other nations are just the sons of men, right? They don't consider that their recompense will be returned unto them, right? That's why the Lord said, I'll recompense everyone according to their works. That includes 2/3 of the nation of Israel, right? Which continue to rebel against the Lord, right? And so nobody's safe in these last days, right? The remnant, right? The Lord's right punishing us also for our sins, right? But at the end of the day, our hope is in the heavens, right? That and that the Lord will avenge us of our enemies, right? But in the meantime, right, we're here to prophesy and give Jake this truth, right? Um, so let's go back to the lesson at hand. Salakia. Isaiah 1 and 10 says, "Hear the word of the Lord, ye rulers." Well, that's not the word for ruler. The word is actually the word here. It actually means magistrate. Let's look up that definition. A magistrate, as in deciding, which that word is quatazayan. Magistrate. A civil officer or lay judge who administers a law, especially one who conducts a court that deals with minor offenses and holds the preliminary hearings for more serious ones. So let's go back. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Brakatham to you to the 144,000, which are the heads of the nation of Israel, and you sincere Akim and the sincere sisters, which are few, right? Because a lot of you Eves are off as hell. But again, that's not the focal point, right? We're not going to go on tirades like these other camps because that's their main gimmick. You know, just getting on people and right. But we're here to edify through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Kodash, right? But the other camps, all you hear is the Lord is gonna kill you. You know, that's not what it's about, right? Scriptures speak about what? Sound words that cannot be condemned in a wicked generation, right? Now let's so it says, "Hear the word of the Lord, you magistrates of Sodom, give ear unto the law of our God, people of Gomorrah." Right? So that's what the Lord compares, right? 2/3 onto Sodomites, Gomorrites, which were the original Sodom and Gomorrah inhabitants were actually Hamites, right? And a lot of them are Moes, right? You can, you know, but they just don't they don't do it openly like Esau, right? That's where Lot dwelt and was delivered out of Sodom and Gomorrah, right? Which that's what the Lord is saying. That's what we're saying to 2/3 of our people. Give ear to the words of Yahweh Bashim Shai, the voice of the Lord, which is written in the volume of the book, right? So it says, Shemaiwa Dabar Yahweh, Watazayanya Saddam, Ha Azian Wa Tawarath, Alahayanawa, Imara. Isaiah 1 and 11 says, "To what is unto me the multitude of your sacrifices, saith the Lord? I am satisfied with burnt offerings of rams and the fat of beasts," which that word is Mariah, Mariah, right? Which is it's just talking about right? The tenderest meat is the youngest type of beast or cattle that you can slaughter, right? The ewes, and so on and so forth, right? That's what it's talking about, right? Because that word goes back to ra'ah, meaning to see or behold, right? Well fed, fatling, right? Now it's comparing it to this root, mara'ah, but that's going to something else. So it doesn't actually mean beast, it just means well fed cattle, right? The choices of the herds of the flocks, the beasts of the herds and the flocks, right? It says in the blood of bullocks and lambs and he goats, I do not delight in it, right? Now this word is I thought it just means something prepared, right? But in most cases, it's just another way to say ram. But the root actually means to prepare, right? For example, prepare, sacrifice, or whatever the case may be, or something that is prepared, a beast prepared, right? Kapatazah, that just means to delight. So it says Lama Laya Rab Zabach Yakam Ya Amar Yahweh Shabai Thaya Ilah Ayalim Wa Halab Moraya Ayim Wadam Parium Wa Kabashium Wa Ithadium La'a Kapataza Thaya. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 12. Because when you come to appear before me, um, who has inquired this from your hand to trample my courts? Right now, let's touch base on verse 11. Right, which that's what the Pharisees and these other sects that were present in the ancient Roman Empire, and even during the times of ancient Israel. Right, they thought it was the sacrifice was they were justified in their carnal sacrifices. Right, they constantly would go off, but they would always have their sacrifices ready, thinking that was their way out, thinking that was their justification. But that was never the case, right? And you see that today with these other camps. Their lavish Passovers, right? Um, with their rap shows, their fashion shows, right? Truth music, right? All that is I believe the elder Monoctozak from North Carolina or South Carolina camp. He recently said, I believe that's South Carolina. You can check out his channel, GMS Walk and Talk, South Carolina. And he recently spoke about Jake and these other camps when they do their fashion shows and their truth music, their rap concerts, and they rap about the truth, right? They have that golden cow spirit, right? Like it says in the book of, I believe that's Exodus, right? When Moses went to the mount and the people asked Aaron to make a golden calf, and they sat and they drank and they played, they made sport, right? So that's what these other camps are doing, making sport of the truth, right? Which us at Great Mill Stone, we don't do these what these other camps do, right? They got these other camps got their wives at camp, right? You got brothers prophesying, then you got the women sitting right behind them, right? When we're not, the women are not supposed to be out there, right? Because when we're out, we go out and prophesy, right? We're going out and we're 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 making war with these words, right? So anything can happen, right? When we're out there prophesying, that's not a place for women, right? Elder Apostle Har always says that, right? We're not here to entertain the women, right? We're not here to make a spectacle of the Lord's word, right? That's what these other camps are doing essentially, right? They got the golden calf demon on them, right? Which is there's other precepts that speak about the same thing, right? The Lord said, I'm full with your bullocks, and right, I despise your feast days, right? Which is why right, we're right. You're not supposed to rent a damn stadium to have the Passover. You're not supposed to be in a club having the Passover. You're supposed to keep it in your home, and you're supposed to eat it quickly. It ain't a damn show. It's not a damn right. It's not a damn festival, right? It's supposed to eat it in haste, and so on and so forth, right? So it says Isaiah 1:12, Kaya Thaba'awa La Ra'ath Panya Maya Bakwash Za'ath Madyad Kum Ramas Hatazarya. The word Ramas means to trample. Strong's H7429. To trample under feet. The Jewish Aramaic says Ramas. Ramas, to tread with the feet, basically to trample, right? Chatazar, that just means a court. Isaiah 1:13. Do not anymore bring offerings of deceit to deceive, right? Incense, which is an abomination that is unto me, new moons and Sabbaths, the calling of solemn assemblies. I am not able, as in I am not able to bear iniquity, its iniquity, and the solemn assembly, which reads La'ah, Tasayapwa, Ta Baya'a, Manachath, Shawa'ah, Watarath, Ta Iba, Haya'a, Laya, Hadash, Washabath, Kwara'a, Ma Kwara'a, La'a, Awakal, Ayan, Wa, Itazara. That word Ayan is like vanity, basically. You read it sometimes as Ayan or Awan, which is you can compare that with the word Kabal, which means Kabal literally means vapor or vanity, right? Atazar, that just it means like to shut in, or a solemn assembly, right? So this the Passover is a solemn assembly. You're not supposed to be in a damn club like Sakari, or in a stadium like ISUPK, IUIC, they got the fashion shows and all kinds of madness, right? Isaiah 1 and 14, your new moons and your appointed times, as in your feast days. Mawa'id, it literally means season or appointed time. The new moons and appointed times hateth my soul. They are um, unto me trouble. That word Torah, Strong's H2960, which means a burden, cumbrance, trouble. Torah, let's go to the root word, burden, toil, which it means to cast down, to throw, which means like a basically something that basically like a burden, right? Weariness. Let's look at the some precepts. Deuteronomy 1 and 12. How can I myself alone bear your your cumbrance and your burden and your strife? So it doesn't mean two things, right? That word cumbrance, it like means to forbear, right? To withstand. Let's look at some synonyms for cumbrance. Synonym: uh, pressure, responsibility, strain, weight, clog, hindrance, obstacle, block, deterrent. So it just means Salakia. Let me go back. Let's look at the other precepts. So apparently that goes back to the Chaldeic, which means labor, weariness, right? Toil. So you could just say burden, right? It just means burden. So it says, "It's a burden unto me." It says, "I am weary to bear, which I am weary, and which I am weary to bear." Right. That word for weary is la'ah, which actually just means, I believe, trouble. Let's look up that word, trouble. Sometimes you'll read it as Bahal or Bahala or La'ah. Means the same thing. You can't always go with the Strong's Hebrew Concordance because it'll tell you the same thing: wearied, exhausted, toil. Yeah, that's not. It doesn't all mean the same thing, right? So it reads Chadash Yakam Wa Mawa'id Yakam Shana'a Napashia Hayawa Alya La Tarach Na La Ayathaya Na Sha'ah. Isaiah 1 and 15. Which reads, "And in your spreading of your hands, whoops, I will hide my eyes from you, even because thou hast multiplied prayer. I will not hear. Your hands with blood, it is full, or as in your hands are full of blood." Right. The word ayan again, it means like a here it's used as not particle negative, Hebrew particle negative. Sometimes it's ayan, sometimes it's la'ah, or sometimes it's all. For example, al shachath means do not destroy, which is some of the Psalms they're started, right? So it reads, Waba Parash come, Kap Yakum, A Ayalam, Ayanya, Makam Gum, Kaya, Tharabwa, Thapala, Ayan, Naya, Shemai, Yad Yakam, Damyam, Mala'awa. The word Ayalam goes into Ilam, meaning to hide. Ayalam means hidden. And I don't think that's Elam, which are the East Indians, because I believe Elam is spelled Al Al Al-Yama or something to that extent, which are Elam to the East Indians. But this actually means this means to hide or to be hidden. So that's what the Lord is saying, right? Yeah, there are these other camps who are they're throwing their prayers up publicly, I might add, right? We don't do that, right? Well, actually, I can't really say that I've actually seen UIC do it, but they do it during their lives, right? Which the Lord said never do that. I mean, if you want to do, the Lord said to pray in secret, right? Well, that's fine. That's really not a big deal, right? Because they're doing that as part of their assembly, right? Um, so like I said, it's not a big deal, right? But I don't think that's kosher, right? Kosher just means correct or acceptable, which is kashar. Um, that goes to yashar, which means upright, right, or erect. Um, so the Lord does not hear in you Bishop Nathaniel, right? These other camps, right? Because their hands are full of blood. Now, have they actually shed blood? No. But the Lord said in the book of Isaiah that when you bring the wrong sacrifice, it's as if you blessed an idol or slew a man, right? Because you're not warning the flock of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, right? You're not telling them what the mark of the beast is, right? Which is the RFID chip, right? You're not telling them about the focal point of prophecy, which is what? Martial law coming to pass, FEMA camps, all hell breaking loose, in America, Babylon the Great, so on and so forth, right? Bishop Nathaniel and the ISUPK leader, General Yohana, the second in command under Jesus Christ. That's what he says, basically. Um, and Grand Poobah, Chief Priest Alazar, right? They're going the hell off, right? Because they're uh, they're not giving the understanding as it should be given out, right? Verse 16, right? So there's a precept in the book of Luke that says what? That they're gonna say, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? They're gonna knock, they're gonna say, open unto us, open unto us. They're gonna see the chariots, they're gonna be like, Yehovah Shem Shai, right? And the Lord is not gonna hear them. They're not gonna get beamed up in the chariots, right? The Lord will drop is gonna drop the damn the nuke on them, right? Lord is gonna Duke nuke them, right? If you don't know, you're probably too young to know that what that means, right? Lord is gonna now the Lord may put Bishop Nathaniel to death, right, and then bring him back in the resurrection, right, as the first one to get those that get resurrected when the chariots come, right? Just off the fact that his labors follow him, right? Even though they're not complete labors, right? But right, they 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 need to repent, right? Bishop Nathaniel, all you camps, you other camps, right? Great Millstone is the one we're giving you the 100% truth. The power of spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash, right? You need you need to correct your attitude, right? Because I'm speaking as a man. I mean, and your followers, they need to come out of that mess, right? but they're intrigued by they're drawn in by the nice garments. They're drawn in by the gimmicks, right? They're drawn in by these by their elders and their lavish positions, right? When the book of Sirach says, "Do not cause the honor of your the reverence of your elders to cause thee to fall." How are you today? So that's what it says. Do not cause a man and the reverence for him to fall, essentially. And so Bishop Nathaniel and your followers, you have to uh either correct the doctrine, right, or your followers have to come out of that silliness, right? IUIC, right? They're a damn joke. I lost track of how many times they changed the breakdowns, the understanding, right? These men are off, right? So it says, verse, so that's what the scriptures say. That's what it says in the book of Saint Luke. They're gonna say, Lord, Lord, open unto us, and the Lord is not gonna hear them. They're gonna see the chariots uh, deliver the elect, and they're gonna get destroyed, right? They're gonna say, Lord, I got the fringes, I got the fringes, I got the garment, right? I threw up the prayers, right? But the Lord, he doesn't owe you an explanation, right? Because you came into the truth, and then your foot is halfway into Catholicism because you still believe hell is a place on the ground. There's a red man with a pitchfork poking people and burning them. Right? Hell is the grave. Hell is a state of mind. Right? Just like in the heavens, there's a spiritual realm, and then there's the actual heavens, which are the skies. And then there's a heaven on earth, which is Esau's heaven. Right? It's not that hard, right? But these men are sold out, right? Which is why these are the things that Paul the apostle emphasized, right? To be washed, to be renewed by the word, right? So it says wash, Isaiah 1:16, which that word is rachatazah, right? Make you clean, which that word is zakah, but that word actually means it doesn't mean pure, it means clear, right? And these are the camps that got a yabba dabba do spirit on them, right? Right? They're not making sense, right? First you're saying the mark of the beast is Christianity, then you're saying the mark of the beast is white women, then you're saying the mark of the beast is Caesar Borgia. Which one is it, Bishop Nathaniel? Yeah, you damn quack. So it says wash, make yourself clean, turn back from the evil of your backsliding. From before mine eyes, leave off from evil. Which that word is chadal, right? So it reads Rachatazawa, Hazakwa, Ha Sayarwa, Raya, or Rai, Ma Alal Yakam, Ma Nagad, Ayanya, Chadalwa, Harai. Isaiah 1 and 16. Learn to do good. Or it actually says, learn unto that which is good. Seek judgment. Um, comfort the oppressed, which that word relieve, ashar, it actually means to be content, to be happy. Another way to say to comfort or to relieve, right? Hamatazah, right? That actually means sour. It's another way to say oppress, right? What happens when leaven is leavened? It turns sour, right? Same with wine, right? You leave wine to ferment for too long, it turns into vinegar, right? Hamatazah is figurative for oppression, right? Which is right, which is why the Lord said you do worse than the heathen, because you taught them your evil ways, right? Jake loves to be wicked, right? Him and Esau, they're two peas in a pod, right? That's your father, the devil, right? You other nations, you're just like I said, you stink, right? The only one who's actually Japheth is going off too. He's out there in Hawaii eating abominations as well, right? So it says, judge for the fatherless, contend for the widow, which we are the stranger. We're the fatherless. We're the widow, right? It's not talking about the other nations, right? They don't need no help, right? They have everything they need to their heart's desire, right? Yeah, you might have some Hamites in Africa starving to death, but that's a curse. The Lord cursed them for selling our brothers and sisters, right? And Lord willing, I'll go into that history because I read some pretty interesting stuff, right? You got before the Pilgrims came to Jamestown, which they eventually abandoned it, and then they came back, right, on their journey to the Americas, right? The Lord created a famine for the indigenous tribes that were there already and Esau, right? But eventually the Lord was with him, right? Because they prospered via manifest destiny, or what do they call it, providence, right? Um, so we're the stranger, we're the fatherless, we're the widow. How are we the stranger? Because we've been estranged from the ways of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? The fatherless. Why are we the fatherless? Because you got Jake or out there killing Jake, and they're serving life in prison. And their children and their kids follow right along their footsteps, right, and so on and so forth, right. You got widows in Israel too, right? Why? Because you got Eve setting up Jake, right, or Jake killing another Jake over some of that thing, right? You got Eve setting up Jake, right? Getting him killed, right? And the whole nation of Israel, we're a widow as a whole because we don't have um, the Lord, right, to deliver us at this time, right? We have no power, right? We can't deliver anything, right? All we can do is give you the word, right? So it says, Lamadwa Hayatab, Darashwa Ma Shapat, Asharwa Hamataza, Shapatwa Yatham, Rayabwa Al Mana, Salakia. Verse 18 says, Go now and we shall let us reason, which that word nakah actually means to reproof. The Lord is literally saying, Come now and let us reprove, as in let us reprove together. Because that's what these camps are supposed to be doing. Edifying, exhortation, and reproving, rebuking, and like it says in the book of Proverbs, right? Reproves and instruction are the ways of life. So it says, saith the Lord, Lo, though their though they be their sin like scarlet, like snow, they shall be made white. Lo, though they be red, like the dye, which that word thawalai just means worm, but that's where a lot of dyes came from, worms. Like the wool, they shall be, right? And wool has a it's like a whitish brown color, right? Lighter tone, and right, it looks good, right? So it says, and shanya just means crimson. Shalag means snow. Labayan just goes into Laban and means white. Adayam or Adawam just means dyed or dyed red or red. So it says lak lakwa na'a wa nakacha ya amor Yahweh I'm Yahayawa Chata ayakam ka shanyam ka shalag ya labian wa I'm ya adiyam wa ka thawalai ka tazamor Yahayawa. So that's what we're saying through the Spirit to reason together, right? Because, right, the prophet Isaiah said that what? We are as filthy rags, right? Because we all eventually went off. We were cast off, right? One way or another, right? Because at the end of the day, we're subject to unto sin, right? We're subject to go off, right? Even the elect. Not that I'm saying we're going to go off from Scripture, right? Because the Lord put in our spirit, right, to not speak of ourselves, right? but to speak what is in the scriptures. But do we go off? Yeah, you know, as far as being subject to carnal sin, right? Because that's what we are. You know, we're subject to right. We may wake up one day and say something that we don't mean, right? That's what man is under. We're in the flesh. We're subject to we're imperfect, right? What was that? Isaiah 1 and 19. Lo, or if thou art able, if thou art able, and if thou shalt hear the good of the land, thou shalt eat. Which reads, I'm tha abwa wa shemai thumb tawab ha rataza tha akal wa, which means what? This was talking about back then. It's not talking about today. Like I said, it's not always super deep. The Lord was basically telling Israel, telling Jake to correct their ways, or he was going to cast them away. Which eventually, that's what he did, starting with the northern kingdom, right, and then the southern kingdom went into captivity, and here we are, right? Isaiah 1 and 20, and if thou refusest and thou rebels, by the sword thou shalt be devoured, because the mouth of the Lord hath spoken. Which reads, Wa'am tha ma'an wa yatham harab tha akal wa kaya paya Yahweh dabar. Ma'an, it just means to refuse, right? Whew. Verse 21 says, How thus is become, thou art become like a like a harlot city, like unto a harlot of a city. Um, Salakia, how thus art thou become like unto a harlot, the city faithful, full of judgment, righteousness, full of judgment, righteousness lodged in her, and now murderers, right? That's why the Lord cast off Jake, because they would sacrifice under every green tree, right? They would um, set up groves, pillars, idols everywhere, right? And eventually the Lord got tired of all that, right? And he cast them away, right? That's why scriptures say that thou has a whore's forehead, right? That's what the Lord said about Jake. And that word ratazach, it actually means manslayer or manslaughter. Because that's what they did to the prophets, right? Like a roaring lion, their sword devoured the prophets. They devoured the prophets like their sword, like a roaring lion, or something to that extent. Which reads Ayaka, Hayatha, Lazana, Kwarya, Na Amana, Mala'athaya, Mashapat, Tazadak, Ya Layan, meaning to lodge, Baha, Wa'itha, Maratazachium. Verse 22, your silver is become like unto dross. Your wine is mixed upon water, right? It's just saba'a actually means drunkard, but it's another way to say wine or drink, right? As in alcoholic beverage, right? Because wine is compared unto doctrine, right? What do you do when you add water to it? You're diluting the doctrine, right? Which reads kasabka haya la shayagim saba'aka mahal bamayim. Let's look at that word. Mahal. So mahal or malal or mawal, it's the same root, just means to cut off or to, right? Or in this case, to cut, to mix, right? It's not the pure wine, right? Because we're the Lord's silver, right? When you look at silver, you can see your image in it. The Lord sees us uh, um, because He created us in His image, right? The righteous, right? Which is ultimately, like I said, the whole nation of Israel, right? But 2/3 have become dross via outside influence, right? One piece of leaven leaveneth the whole lump, right? That's what leaven does. That's talking about outside influence. Isaiah 1 and 23, your princes have rebelled, and are companions of thieves. All of them love bribery and chase um, for rewards, which our shalom actually means to pay or recompense. It's another way to say reward, right? The fatherless, they do not judge and contend for the widow. They do not enter and contend for the widow, which they do not bring unto them. So that's talking about the fatherless. They do not judge. They do not judge them, and neither contend for them. The widow they do not cause to enter unto them. Which reads Sharyaka, Sararium, Wahabaria, Ganabium, Kalwa, Ahab, Shachad, Waradap, Shalom Nayim, Yatham, La'a, Yashapatwa, Warayab, Almanah, La'a, Yaba'a, Al Yaham. For so saith the Lord, which is Adawan, right? Um, which is some of these other camps say that. Come, Adawan. No, you're not. You're not Adawan. Adawan is one, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So it says, "For so saith the Lord God of hosts, the mighty, the excellent one of Israel." Because that word "abar" means to soar or to be excellent in this case. He says, "Oh, I shall be comforted of my adversaries. I will be avenged upon my enemies." The Lord has called us his adversaries, or yeah, enemies. The Lord has called us enemies at a certain point, which reads, "Lakan Naam Ha'adawan Yahweh Tazabawath Abiar Yasha'ala Hawaya Naham Matazaria Wa'a Nakwama Ma Ayabya." Isaiah 1 and 25. "And I will turn my hand upon thee, and I will smelt uh, purely," which that word kabar, it doesn't mean pure, it means something coarse, like a sponge or a filter, right? So it says to to purify your dross, and I will turn back all thy tin. That's talking about what? The elect, right? Lord is taking away that dross, right? Via what? Trials, tribulations. right? So it reads Wa'a Shayaba Yaya Al Yaka Wa'a Tazarap Kabar Sayagyaka Wa'a Sayara Kal Badial Yaka. So that's why the book of Galatians speak about the perfection of the saints, right? Because as we're pushing to the kingdom, right, we're also perfecting the doctrine, right? The book of Malachi says that they spoke often to one another, discerned who served Yahweh Shem Yahushai and who does it, right? And there's other precepts on that, right? Which trying to see if one comes to mind. Nope. I might have to get that real quick though. Let's see where we're at as far as time. Now we're in 20 minutes. Let's get that real quick. Malachi. Salaki, just bear with me 1 second. That's funny. I got my notes. I put Jake is not safe. First John 3 and 10. This is First John 3 and 10. Oh. Which it reads, in this the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of God, neither he that loveth not his brother. Second address 5 and 42. Actually, that's it pretty much. You goddamn devil. So that word tazarap means to smelt, right? It's just another way to say like to melt, right? So that's what the Lord is doing, right? Purging away our imperfections, right? Because when you go through these things, you have the ability to examine yourself, right? Scriptures say that he that has leisure time is able to gain wisdom, right? He who holdeth the plow cannot obtain wisdom, right? Because his talk is of yokes and bullocks and and whatnot. Isaiah 1 and 26, and I'll return your your judges like unto its former, like in its former time, right? Which is right here. Ka ba ra'ashna. And thy counselors like unto like like in its former time, the chala, because that word halal, which a lot of brothers say that the Arabs they call it halal because it's profane, but actually halal means halal food. They call it halal because it's halal means to pierce as well, right? Which is another way for them to say like right, to prepare something that's prepared because they prepare it a particular way. But you got to keep in mind to them, right? Halal, the ha. Sometimes it's an actual ka. Sometimes it's a ha, which is depending on what they're trying to say. But I guess they're trying to say it's both things, like halal as in pierced, prepared. But in this case, it means something at the beginning of something or a former thing of something, right? Which is why it says here the Hebrew, it's the speech is preposition, which it reads Salakia, just give me 1 second. So the Lord said afterwards, so shall be called thou the city of righteousness, the city faithful, right? Which it reads Wa Ashayaba Shapatyaka Kaba Ra'ashna Waya Aitaza Yaka Kaba Takala Harya Khan Yakwara Laka Ayar Hatazadak Kwarya Na Amana Na Amana. But like some people they say Amuna, which is not the right way. That's the because of the quads or the commas, vowel points. Isaiah 1 and 27, which the Lord is going to do that. He's going to restore the counselors, right? The judges. Scriptures say that thy officers shall be peace. Ezekiel chapter 38 says we're going to take the weapons of war, Lord willing. That's us. If not, then will perish in our innocency, right? So it says, the faithful city, the city of righteousness, right? That's what Zion's going to be called. I believe there's another term too, which is the glorious city, which is damn, what the hell is it? It goes into how you say gazelle. Or roebuck. Ayar Tazabiyah. Let's see if I can get that real quick. Gazelle doe, or roe. So it says Har Tazabiyah Quadash, which means the mountain of holy beauty, used of Mount Zion. Huh, I thought it was something else. Why? Because a gazelle is uh, it looks glorious, right? It's a beautiful creature, right? Isaiah 1:27, Zion in judgment will be redeemed, and her converts in righteousness. Because that word Shabia means convert, Shawab means to return, right? Pada means to redeem. So it reads Tazayawan Ba Mashapat Ta Pada Wa Shabia Ba Tazadaka. Isaiah 1:28. And will be broken the transgressors, and will be broken the transgressors, and sinners together, and those that forsake the Lord shall be consumed, which kala means like complete. Like if you say like 10 is a complete number, it also means to consume or to finish or to right, which reads Washabar Pashayim Wa Khatayim Yachadwa Wa Izabia Yahweh Yakalwa, right? It's talking about 2/3, right? They're going to see the chariots, right? They're going to say, Lord, Lord, we prophesied in your name. We've done many great works. Open unto us, open unto us. And the chariots are going to go, phew, right? They're going to lift their hands and, okay, I'm next. I'm next to get beamed up. And it's not going to happen. They're going to go, yo, Bashamasha. It's not going to happen. Isaiah 1:29, because they shall be ashamed of the hoax which they have coveted after, as in material things, right? P. Diddy, right? Now his house got raided and he's on the run. The devil is how do you say it? The devil's catching up with P. Diddy and you other rappers. These last few years is the most rappers have been is hundreds and hundreds of these prominent rappers slain. Because the Lord is telling you he's done with Jake. Right? That's why it says in the book of St. John that the desires are the eyes, the carnal, the desires, the things of this world, right? These things are going to come to naught. And it says, and thou shalt blush or be ashamed, because that's what that word kapar means. It means to be ashamed or to be embarrassed, to blush. Let me make sure. Yep, confounded, ashamed, shame, feel abashed. Says, and thou shalt be ashamed for of the gardens which thou hast chosen, right? Because Jake, he wants his reward on this side, right? You other camps, you sold out, right? Except Great Mill Stone, Hebrew Israelite camp, right? Through the Spirit of the Lord, right? And that's right. That's on point, because the Lord said, "I send forth the apostles last, as it were unto death. We are a spectacle unto men, unto angels." The idea of the Lord returning in so-called UFOs, UAPs is strange, right? With chariots and flaming fire, right? So that's Jake in the world, right? And you those that took the bag in these other camps, which reads Kaya Yabashwa Ma Ayalium Ashar Hamatam Watha Chaparwa Maha Ganath Ashar Bakaratham. Isaiah 1:30, because thou hast been like the oak, which has waxed away, or fallen, or this just means like decayed, or the leaf, its leaf, and like the garden which water there is none unto it, right? Because Jake is right. When you're not in the truth, you're eating abominations, right? You're you're wearing yourself out, right? Chasing that bag, right? You're as a garden that has no water. You don't have the living waters, right? You have hewed out cisterns that can hold no water. Jeremiah chapter 2, which reads, Kaya Tahayawa Ka Alha Nabala Ila Waka Gana Ashar Mayam Ayan Laha. And it came and will be strong like the toe. Let's look that up real quick. Basically, it means like a cart, right? It will be strong like the toe, and its maker like a spark. It will consume both of them together, and there will be none to quench them to put it out, right? Because that's what kaba means. Means to extinguish, right? Because here you got Jake, right, gathering up material things, right, and its maker thereof, meaning the ICBM missiles, right? It's gonna provide that flame. Will we consume both of them together? There'll be none to extinguish it, right? So you're here, you're trying to make something, when this isn't your world, right? But that spark is gonna come via the Lord's judgment, right? So read Wahaya Ha Hassan La Nayarath Wa Pael Wa Lana Yatazata Taza Wa Bayar Wa Shanyahum Yahadwa Wa Ayan Ma Kaba. That word Taza Taza or spark, Naya Taza Taza. The root goes to Nataza Taza. Na Taza Taza, which means to shine, to sparkle, or a spark. Basically the same thing. Right? So that's pretty much it. This is Isaiah chapter 1, going to the Hebrew. Lord willing, you ratified. It's Brother Yataz Dakir, Israel. As always, giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Kwame Sha'ala, Abad Babal, Shalom.